What if I were to tell you that one of the most dangerous things for your health is not necessarily the food you eat, the stress from your job, or even the natural aging process? The real danger might actually be the artificial lighting inside your own house. The lighting in your living room or bedroom might sound like a very trivial thing to worry about. And the reason why so many people do not even see this as a threat is because it has been completely normalized in our modern society. Everyone uses artificial lights all the time, and it does not feel dangerous at all. But this is one of the most significant environmental mistakes we are making today. When I talk about environmental mistakes, I am talking about comparing how we lived way back in the day, when our environment was very different, to our modern day lives. And out of all the changes we have made as a society, artificial light is at the top of the list of dangers. This happens because light directly affects something called the circadian system. This biological system controls your mood, your metabolism, your hormones, and even your ability to lose weight. You could be eating perfectly, exercising consistently, and sleeping enough hours, but you will still have severe problems if your lighting is incorrect. Your circadian rhythm is essentially a biological clock, and this clock is controlled purely by signals of light and darkness. You also have different clocks in different organs of your body, such as in your liver and your pancreas. And all of them are synchronized by a master clock located deep inside your brain. Your entire system operates on a constant rhythm. The most important thing to understand about this system comes down to one single word, and that word is contrast. I am talking about the absolute contrast between the bright light of the day and the total darkness of the night. Way back in the day, our ancestors were exposed to extremely bright sunlight during the day, and when the sun set, they were exposed to almost total darkness. It was out of this specific environment that our circadian rhythm was created, and we are still operating under this exact same ancient biological system today. Unfortunately, in our modern environment, we simply do not have this contrast anymore. But before I dive deeper into this fascinating subject, I need to define a new word that you might not know. That word is lux. The measurement of lux has to do with exactly how bright a light source really is. When you go outdoors and expose yourself to the sun, depending on where you are and if there are clouds in the sky, you might be exposed to anywhere from 10,000 to 100,000 lux. On an overcast or cloudy day, that number goes down to about 2,000 to 10,000 lux. But when you are indoors, the lighting usually ranges from 100 to 500 lux. And at nighttime, using your mobile phone or watching your television can blast between 300 and 1,000 lux right into your face. The light of the moon, for comparison, provides only 0.1 lux. It is practically nothing. Because of our current modern lighting situation, we have created the absolute worst environment for the human brain in all of history. We have created an artificial environment where the days are very dim because we stay locked inside offices, and the nights are very bright because of our glowing screens. We also filter the little sunlight we do get through glass windows, which block beneficial ultraviolet and infrared rays. This lack of a strong light signal during the day tells the brain that it is not actually daytime. I will take a quick pause right here because I know that changing your daily routine requires precision and tracking. To help you take charge of your health and measure if your metabolism is truly responding to these lifestyle changes, I have a recommendation. In the first pinned comment below this video, you will find links to the health equipment, monitors, and precision scales that I personally use and recommend. Having the right tools at home is absolutely essential for tracking your daily progress and seeing real results. Now, returning to our biological clock, this lack of clear contrast between light and dark is not just creating a mild problem for our brains. It is creating a massive metabolic disaster. Even if you compare it to the bad habit of staying up late, the lack of contrast during the day is much more damaging to our circadian waves. Historically, humans have spent the vast majority of the day outside in bright light. Farmers were outside for most of the day. Even when we had harsh winters, when the days were shorter and it got dark sooner, we still had fires. The light from a campfire or a fireplace is very non-disruptive to our sleep. It emits a very low amount of lux, and it does not contain the blue light that comes from screens. Today, our dark days indoors and our bright nights under artificial lights massively disrupt the release of melatonin. Melatonin is the hormone that tells your body it is time to go to sleep and helps initiate cellular repair. With overhead lights, light-emitting diode bulbs, and televisions, your melatonin is either severely delayed or completely blocked. Furthermore, you start having a problem with cortisol, which is your main stress hormone. Cortisol is triggered by the blue light coming from your screens. Because of this artificial trigger, you might lie in bed for 7 or 8 hours, but the actual depth of your sleep is completely missing. When you go to bed at night, you are supposed to go through 4 cycles of sleep, moving from a superficial stage to a much deeper, restorative sleep. Most people today do not even get close to the capacity of deep, restful sleep that they genuinely need to heal their bodies. This deeply affects your metabolism. It affects insulin, it affects blood sugar, and it dramatically affects a person's mood, causing anxiety and depression. I have seen many people who ate a perfect diet and exercised consistently, but they did not sleep well due to their environment. That was the exact thing that stopped them from losing weight and getting healthy. There is also a massive amount of data on this topic. Studies show that brighter nighttime light exposure significantly increases the risk for DM2. When you are outside during the day in the sun, getting bright light, this is exactly what your body needs to regulate itself. Just doing that alone will help your blood sugar to a certain degree, regardless of what you eat. On the other hand, evening bright lights actively worsen how your body handles sugar. And on top of that, what do people usually do at night while watching television? They snack on processed foods. This is a terrible and deadly combination for your metabolic health. In other words, light can have a huge impact on your metabolism. If you have ever visited someone in an intensive care unit, or if you have been in one yourself, you might have noticed that they always keep the lights on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is a terrible environment for physical recovery. There is even a condition called intensive care unit acquired delirium, which is essentially a severe circadian rhythm disorder. When darkness disappears, your brain completely destabilizes. If you want to see a situation where night is removed completely, look at institutions that have constant lighting, like certain prisons. You see severe sleep deprivation and severe mood disorders that come directly from that environment. This is why constant or chronic lighting is considered psychologically harmful. The human brain desperately needs nighttime darkness just as much as it needs bright sunlight during the day. Humans evolved with a lot of contrast, and in the modern day, that is pretty much gone. The fix for this problem is not a magic supplement. It is not even about extreme discipline. The first rule is to make your days aggressively bright. Get outside before noon and expose yourself to the sun. I'm not talking about getting sunburned, but just get out there and get more natural light. You should also be hesitant about wearing dark sunglasses all the time because you need some of that natural light to enter your eyes to set your internal clock. I am not telling you to stare directly into the sun, but just looking off to the side is perfect. Even cloudy days will work wonderfully because you are going to get a significant amount of light cutting through the clouds. It will not be the same amount of lux as a sunny day, but you will get something far more powerful than your indoor lighting. Rule number 2 is to make your nights genuinely dark. Turn off the bright overhead lights as soon as the sun goes down. You might want to get a couple of small lamps around your room that have soft, amber-colored bulbs. Make the screens on your devices dim, especially in the 3 hours before you go to bed. If you have to use a computer at night, use software that blocks the blue light and turns your screen a warm orange color. Rule number 3 is to fix both ends of this contrast scale. You want the first part of your day to have bright light. During certain times of the year when it is cold outside, you're going to be stuck indoors. In that case, get a bright, full-spectrum light box and put it above your computer. Turn it on in the first part of the day so you can actually get some bright light to send a signal to your eyes and tell your body to wake up. And at night, replace your modern bulbs with older incandescent-style lights, which are much better for your biology because they emit very low lux. Just realize that modern diseases are not just created by what we eat, but they are also created by how we live. And light is right there at the very top of the list. Make sure when you go into your bedroom that you do not have little electronic lights glowing in the dark. Cover up the lights on your chargers and use curtains that block the street lights. This is probably the easiest thing you can do today to create the biggest positive impact on your health. It will improve not just how long you sleep, but the quality of your sleep, how you feel when you wake up, your metabolism, your hormones, and your cognitive function. Thank you for taking the time to learn about your body today. If you want the best tools to help with your health routine, Do not forget to check the links in the first pinned comment. Subscribe to the channel for more health and longevity tips, and I will see you in the next video.